Dodgers down Nationals, 4-3, in Game 5 to advance to NLCS against Cubs. At 12:12 a.m. EDT on Friday, as a series and a season hung in the balance, Clayton Kershaw climbed up the steps of the Dodgers dugout. He walked alone, amid the silence of Nationals Park, toward his team's bullpen. Hours before, his manager insisted Kershaw would not pitch in this game, even as his team fought to advance past the Nationals in the fifth game of the National League Division Series. Dave Roberts was mistaken. In the ninth inning of a 4-3 victory, a heart-wrenching game that lasted more than 4 hours, Kershaw recorded the final 2 outs. He was pitching on a day of rest, so soon after a 110-pitch effort on Tuesday. He could not finish Game 4. But he finished Game 5. Kershaw entered with 2 men on and 1 out. Kenley Jansen had expended himself, throwing 51 pitches to drag the team from the 7th inning into the 9th. Kershaw did not crumble. He erased Daniel Murphy, the Nationals' most accomplished hitter, with a pop-up. When he struck out Wilmer Difo swinging at a pitch in the dirt, the final out recorded on a throw to first base, the entirety of the roster mobbed him. To advance, Kershaw and the Dodgers erased a slew of first-round demons on Thursday as they advanced to the National League Championship Series. The Cubs will host them on at 5 p.m. PDT Saturday at Wrigley Field. A spent team will fly to Chicago later on Friday. Justin Turner launched a 2-run triple to cap a 4-run rally in the 7th as the Dodgers surged ahead. Held captive by Max Scherzer for 6 innings, the offense exploded in time to nab this decisive game. To hold back the Nationals, manager Dave Roberts threaded the needle through 9 innings without a starter on a full tank. He received 2 2/3 innings from Rich Hill, then spent the rest of his evening mixing and matching his bullpen. To take the lead, Roberts utilized all 3 of his catchers in the 7th inning. After a solo homer by Jock Pederson off Scherzer tied the score, Yasmani Grandal walked and took second base on a single by Howie Kendrick. Austin Barnes replaced Grandal on the bases. At the plate was the third catcher, Carlos Ruiz, who smacked a go-ahead single to score Barnes. Then came Turner's blast-off reliever Sean Kelly. The 7th inning had merely begun. The frame lasted an hour and 6 minutes. It was not easy on Roberts' heart. Grant Dayton surrendered a 2-run homer to former Dodger Chris Heisey. Roberts sent his closer into the game and Jansen escaped a bases-loaded jam to keep the Dodgers ahead by 1. The teams returned to Nationals Park with the odds tilted in Washington's favor. The Nationals could reuse Scherzer, the favorite for the National League Cy Young Award. The Dodgers had to scramble to prep Hill and arrange their bullpen for extended duty. The Dodgers finalized their strategy on Wednesday. The medical staff cleared Hill, who was hampered by blisters in the second half of the season, to appear on only 3 days of rest. The team sifted through the matchups, stitching together different pitchers for different scenarios. "It's funny," Roberts said before the game. "I've got a process in place, a plan. But it just never seems to work out." The game soon proved Roberts right. Washington second baseman Daniel Murphy aggravated the Dodgers for 4 games with his bat. In the 5th game, despite his lackluster speed and his strained buttocks, he added his legs to the mix. After a lead-off single in the 2nd inning, he stole second when Hill spiked a curveball in the dirt and Grandal made an inexact throw. Enthralled with Murphy at second, Hill spun around twice to attempt pickoffs. He could not find the zone against first baseman Ryan Zimmerman, who walked on 5 pitches. Up next came shortstop Danny Espinosa. He punched a curveball into right field, giving Murphy another chance to run. The ball skipped into outfielder Josh Reddick's glove. His throw pulled Grandal up the third baseline, where Murphy danced around him. Murphy stomped on the plate for the game's first run. The Nationals continued to manufacture oxed for Hill in the 3rd. Trey Turner greeted him with a single, then swiped second base. He jetted to third base on a flyout to center. After Hill struck out Worth, at last the Dodgers conceded their inability to retire Murphy. Rather than let Hill face Murphy with 2 out and a runner at third base, Roberts opened up his bullpen. He ordered an intentional walk for Murphy. Then he raised his right arm and called upon Joe Blanton. With 2 runners aboard, Blanton sized up third baseman Anthony Rendon. He would not see a fastball for the entirety of the at-bat. After a curveball, Blanton spun 5 sliders in a row. Rendon sprayed the last into Pederson's glove in center. Finding a run against Scherzer was less simple. The team squandered a bases-loaded chance in the 5th. After singles by Reddick and Pederson, Toles lifted a 1-out hit just above Murphy's glove. Roberts sent Andre Ethier to pinch hit for Blanton. Ethier could not replicate his production from Game 4. He struck out, and Scherzer forced a ground-out by Utley to escape. The Nationals could not extend their lead against Urias. He picked off Harper to end the 5th. Washington third base coach Bob Henley handed Urias a gift in the 6th. With Worth at first, Rendon doubled into the left field corner. Henley sent Worth, who touched third base moments before Corey Seager took the relay throw. Worth was out by several feet. Hours before the game, Washington manager Dusty Baker admitted something that is not a secret. He planned to stick with Scherzer longer than he would any other pitcher. Scherzer is an ace, a man worthy of a $210 million contract. His rope lasts longer than most. But Baker stayed with him for 1 batter too many. In the top of the 7th, Scherzer fired a 96-mile-per-hour fastball over the middle. Pederson clobbered the pitch. He chucked his bat toward his dugout and watched the solo homer clear the left field fence. The ballpark sounded stricken. Baker came to get Scherzer. The madness had only begun.